Instead, it will be Coastline between Guidance and Vex. Coastline being one of the more predominantly played maps, I would say, out of the current meta, and mostly because it is very, very easy for the attackers to really steamroll that map. I said to you earlier that I would go on a little bit more in depth if we would to see you know, the Coastline. I'll talk to you because you said, oh yeah, I like Coastline. Is there anything wrong with Coastline? Well, I would definitely say the meta operators really strike a pose on this particular map. We're already seeing majority of those meta operators being banned out. Lion Glass, no surprise. Maestro, Mira, no surprise. But then you do leave yourself very vulnerable to Ying.
Absolutely. And what I'm quite excited to see, and you mentioned it before, remember actually when I first got into Siege, a good, start of this year? One of the first maps...
Coming up to a year. One
of the first maps you ran me through was Coastline. We had a good run through that, looked at the strats, and you could just see the prevalence of Mira on pretty much every single point, so no big surprise to see that one banned away. But now, of course, you've got to consider that you do have other operators in the game. Clash is still being let through, so that's going to get picked up, and you mentioned before, had a very slight nerf as well. The stun duration is down, makes her a little bit less threatening, you might say.
Yeah, certainly not the threat that she used to be. Really, if you were going up against the Clash, you would literally always need to keep looking at the Clash, because if you just took your, you know, your sightline away from just a second, you would be dead straight away. But no clashes. It will be sick pick onto the Vigil, and also quite interesting. Feral, he's going to go for a bit of a bait and go for the Ying sick pick onto the Sledge. Still, Doki on the Jackal, who you know is another good meta operator, very good in Coastline for hunting down any potential roamers. And of course that sidearm shotgun is a bit of a substitute for Buck in most circumstances, even if you know, Feral dies with a sledgehammer. Doki could still use that to play more of that destructibility factor that we see Buck and Sledge do so much on a very destructible map like Coastline.
And Doki, I think, is one of those guys. I had a good chat to him after week 1, actually, and just had a chat to him more about him and about the team and things like that. And he was explaining how he's always, you know, he was always a part for the longest time of the G2 roster, is more as one of their subs as well. So he has been very involved alongside Feral and Pengu in the success of that team in terms of providing the backup they needed as well, being there in the scrims and things like that. Just more so that the time wasn't there for him to fully commit into it, but he's going to be very much so ingrained into this team. They'll have had that level of conversation before. Interesting fact, he used to be a Sparky.
Do you know what else is interesting? We completely forgot that the best player in the world has decided to grace our presence.
I did point at the screen. I thought you just ignored it.
And I just completely... I was too in depth with my analyst, but no.
I was going to say, they brought him in because they know this is going to be a close game as well. This is a game they have to win.
Did you say that?
No, I didn't say that, but that's what I've just said.
Okay, well...
Now I've said it, so now you can take that and do with it what you will.
Well, the Nut Boy, he will be brought to the table, and we'll see if Pengu can put any dent inside of this Guidance Gaming roster. And already the quick fry come in from either side is Feral. He will be eliminated, but of course then we will see Vex. He will go down as well. So, Guidance, they do have still that upstairs room clear out, but then at the same time, they will start to get droned out themselves as the drones will be sent in by Vex. Pengu still on the window, trying to see if he can work his way in, as already has swung on in towards that bathroom area, has took up arms, looking in and trying to really push out these roamers. This is what you're expecting from Pengu, being that main driving force for Vex to really get these big kills whenever him and his team really needs them to go for it. And he's actually going to bring the breaching charges instead of the Claymore, which is more used by Sophia. But as you can see, actually, oh, that's a bit of a rough one, as the breaching charge will not go through. And also for Vex, another rough one is will be Harris being getting a kill onto Doki. He will be off the board, so no more Jackal. Still, plenty of things that Vex can really work with. I was about to say G2, just looking at the tag. This is not fun for me.
It does not make things super fun, absolutely. Everyone else is Vex. He's G2. Well, there you go. He's in and playing, as you probably expect. He has got a couple of holes open, but misses on that spray down there as well. Trying to find just a couple of angles from upstairs, but as it stands so far, despite the holes he's opened up, no one's kind of been there for him to catch.
No, nobody's really there that he can actually get picks onto. Talking about that, he will find his first kill on Harris. He will be dropped, so Echo off the board. That denial factor that the Sonic Burst of the Yokai can provide will be off the table. So down to the IQ, Firmite and Sophia to clutch things up for Vex. But then again, Kendry still alive for Guidance, who has been a big standout player this entire season. Of course, you're expecting the CL guy to perform pretty big for for this team. He has more of that experience compared to other players of Guidance, but still 20 seconds to decide this round, and it could go either way.
Still trying to find at least something for themselves in that 3 versus 3. Like you say, 15 seconds left. Now it's the pressure on Vexed. Can they lead the charge in here and manage to get themselves to defuse down, or will they find themselves completely pinned out? They manage to get rid of one. Pengu finds Hayes out there as well, finds himself a second. This is why he's considered one of the best. Brings themselves 2 kills. They do go into 2 versus 1, but can they find the final? No, they can't. Guidance Gaming take the first round away from Vexed.
Wow, that was a great bit of play from the players. That was quite a bit of a strange one, really, how that developed. Still, you have to give credit to Guidance. They just had the time on their side. Vex just kind of twiddling their thumbs there for at least a good 20 seconds there for that kind of final push. They weren't exactly sure what they wanted to do. I think Pengu possibly spent just too much time really trying to work on that flooring, and from there he really cannot rotate into really any good position. So just time really just being a big factor there for Guidance and why they won that round. But still, Vex, they did look very strong in that room clear out. We'll see if they can keep up the momentum, as it will be a blue bar and sunrise bar that they will next attack.
I mean, Pengu's positioning upstairs was pretty nice because it wasn't a case of sit there and hold one angle. He was constantly darting back and forth between the holes, trying to find angles, pick key members off. He found himself 3 kills. That's a lot to do for a Zofia upstairs on her own, and the real question then comes in, and I'm not just saying it because he's one of the stronger players in the team, but what were the other 4 members doing whilst he was getting those 3 kills? There was, again, very slow movement. It wasn't until those final 20 seconds where they finally decided to make a move, by which time, again, you're being forced to make mistakes because you're so short on time.
Well, Kendrew taking a wild card pick for himself as Caviera will be brought to the table. Wow, this is going to be a bit of a fun one to see really how she can pan out. We have known that Eunice, another player for G2, has been known to actually take Caviera on the main stage. He actually got an interrogation in the major final using Caviera, which single-handedly won G2 that round, and we'll see if he can recreate any magic. Will be very difficult for Kendra, of course, because once you do get thrown out as a Caviera, teams then just go all in for the hunt. They try and find you and hunt you down as rapidly as they can. Sure, you have Jackal being brought by Doki, but Caviera can disable that Inox effect by using her silent step. You cannot get pinged if you're inside that silent step ability if you are tracked by Jackal. So a very hard counter to that operator.
It seems very tough, but let's see if we can get anything for it as well, because you've already said just there exactly what it did for G2 in their final. It's just the big turnaround potential of suddenly revealing where every membered enemy team is. Like, that's about as far as godlike as you can get.
Unless you're lying.
Unless you're lying, of course, as well. That also works in that effect. With considerably less effort. Yeah. Press a button versus down someone and interrogate them without dying.
Yeah.
I wonder which is easier.
Who knows?
Well, let's see if Guidance can turn it into a second round victory anyway. Maybe it'll go the same way as the last series, where it starts off strong for what you may consider the underdog in some ways.
Oh! Pick that one out of the back pocket of Vex.
Ouch. All they want is that one opening kill. Turn it into 2, turn it into maybe 3 soon. And suddenly everything starts going in their favor. A bit more aggressive, a bit more quick to move this time from Vex. Kendrew finds one onto Jesus. Not going for the interrogate in that one either.
No, he knows that, of course, there will be plenty members of Vex still lurking around that fallen comrade, as certainly Jesus not pulling off any miracles in this round yet. Not a Halloween themed pun, but can we count that as a pun counter?
It's a pun counter rather than a Halloween pun.
Come on, give me that one. You have to give me that one. That's a fair one.
It was alright. I'll give you that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You're nice to me. This is good. We're making, you know, that the marriage counselling really helped us, I think.
I think a little bit. This feels weird.
Still getting there, but yeah. A rough couple of weeks.
Been a rough round as well, or at least it was at the very start. This time around it's a lot rougher coming in for Guidance, and yes, they managed to trade one back. Pengu's downstairs this time around rather than trying to lurk for the upstairs, which makes more sense. Last time around it was more a case of, despite the bombs being downstairs, get upstairs, open the floor, get yourself some angles down there. He said, this time around, I want to be on the ground floor. I want to start getting myself in these fights where I have the much better angles to play with.
Feral still has the sledgehammer that he can still use in the views. Kendra, another kill for him with the Caviera, but then Feral from above will eliminate the Brazilian operator. Doki will come in with the plant under the cover of Pengu, so it will be down to the Echo and Smoking already. The Yokai drone's getting good.
Oh, great angle
from Harris. Takes out Doki, planter off the board. Just barely missed the kill on the Pengu. He did land a lot of shots onto the Echo, so this is still, I would say, in favor of Vex, just due that the fact that They have gotten these players very weak, but at the same time, plenty of utility with those yokai drones that will rely on Pengu playing pretty big. They will have to try and force their way in towards the bomb site, as they know they will be very vulnerable, and Feral will do just that, eliminates Blackout. Harris can try and win this round with the yokai drone. Plant will try and be planted by Pengu. The yokai drone comes in, doesn't stick to the ceiling. How unfortunate, and that will be Feral saving Pengu at the final second. Those are times in Siege where you just want to cry for the person that happened to it.
Sometimes to yourself if it happens to you, but that is truly, truly tragic. That's such a shame for him. Trying to get the foot. Oh, Pinky, that's your Pinky gone, my friend. But Harris is on like no health here as well. One tap and he's going down. He's against a full health Pengu, almost all but. And even Feral had about 40% left as well. There's no way he pulls that one back. That was disgustingly unlucky. Disgusting.
Yeah, that's just moments in Siege where you just think, what if? What if? Well, I'm pretty sure we would have known what would happen if that yokai drone did stick and did connect. Then it would have been a round in favour of Guidance. They would have went 2-up, but no, Vex, they have the return, they have the bounce back, and they will go 1 round apiece. So it will be another defense, and it will be the Hookah Lounge and Billers. So out of the 4 potential bomb sites, we will see 3 of them being chosen, the only one being Penthouse and Theatre, which has not been brought to the table for good reason. Penthouse and Theatre has really fallen out of the meta at the moment, just simply because it is so easy for the attackers to just simply take VIP, push in, plant the bomb, and then they just hold the angles, mostly down to that double window being a very big access point for a lot of the attackers. And if you have an operator like Blackbeard on that double window being stationed there, then yeah, you're never really retaking that bomb site. So that's why it has fallen out of favour, and they have opted for the other 3 bomb sites, which of course are still going to be very strong, because that's kind of what Coastline has, is all 4 bomb sites are defendable.
Except for the Penthouse one.
Yeah, well, it's still defendable, just
it's
not
defendable,
as favoured.
it's just a lot harder once you lose it in the first place and then retake, is I think what you're trying to say with that one. But in terms of pits coming out, nothing too surprising. That Echo already showing how, well, almost how effective it could be in the last round. They're going to bring it back out once again. Got some more of that intel gathering capability as well with the Valkyrie on side. On the other side, nothing too surprising. Doki once again bringing out the Jackal too. And Pengu seems to be really liking that Zofia. He's going to stick on that one.
Yeah, I will still be sticking with the Jackal. This has been an operator, which has been, you know, very, I would say, a rise in the ranks of the majority of the operators. Certainly a lot of teams favour not just, you know, the Jackal Inox ability, but the fact that he has that sidearm shotgun, which can be very good at destroying floors, destroying hatches, making quick rotation holes, for example, as well. And of course the C7E is a very strong assault rifle. It used to be the strongest assault rifle in the game before it did get hit with a nerf as well, but still a very capable one. Also, we'll see if he can do any work, because at the moment he just really hasn't done much with it. Oh, say that too soon.
No.
Caster's Curse once again.
That's so unlucky, because Blackout was going to crouch there, I think, as well, and just kind of led himself into the shot lines out of him. But oh, Hayes on the other side, he brings down Doki as well. Have a nice run out there by the looks of it on that Vigil. So at least now they're even things out. But Feral, no sooner have I said it, it's coming back, and then once again, it's been even back out. So now we're down to a 3-3, and already the diffuser's going down at 2 minutes into the round demo.
Yeah, they see the castle barricade being sanctioned off the entire Hookah Lounge, and just Guidance, I don't know what their thought process was behind that castle barricade, because we know how smart these players of Vexed are. They have players like Feral and Pengu there who are so smart, and they see weak points and they fully use that to their ability. Such a quick plant from the players of Vexed, and Guidance, all they can really do is sit back and see if they can try their best. Even Vex gets tagged up, trying to rotate in, and at this stage, all he can do is hope and pray that somehow, which just isn't going to happen, that Vex somehow choke this. He gets 1 kill for himself, but an impactless kill nonetheless, and Dearly will return fire, and Vex, well, they will take the lead once again, 2 rounds to 1.
That was one of the quickest plants I think I've ever seen in that instance. That was crazy. Getting in there and getting it down at 2 minutes into the round because they put themselves way behind that castle barricade, like you said. Terrible idea. You need to give yourself some access, or at least have more than one member who can sit at the point, because as soon as they traded out those 2, there was just no one left with the angle, there was no one left on the point itself to contest. And well, it was a pretty big mistake from Guidance to cost them the round. Vex now 2-1 up. Guidance going into this 4th round, they want to try and pull these things back. We saw this happen before, where teams have a couple of good opening rounds, and suddenly then it completely swings back the other way very quickly in the following rounds. No big changes coming through to the picks, mind you. These things seem pretty set on what they've got. The only real difference I'm spotting here is that Kendra is going to bring the Pulse to the party.
Yeah, Pulse, a very strong operator who can really use a lot of that cardiac scanner and C4 combo that is so primarily used, and even on top of that, another intel gathering operator also with a nitro cell. This is a very scary combo that the players of Vex really have to be wary about, especially players that are like Doki, like Feral, who want to try and get themselves in and around upstairs, trying to open up the floor, but then equally they have to always play around a C4 that could potentially be tossed out and just eliminate them just as quickly as they got inside the building. Looking at the Vex lineup, still no changes to what they've brought, just very standard. They have all the utility in the world. They have the hard breach, really favouring the Thermite over the Hibana, which I'm a bit shook by, because sometimes we don't even see hard breach being bought on coastline. You don't need hard breach. It has been proven by Team Secret earlier on in the week that you just don't need it.
And why is that? Because of the floor, or?
It's just because none of the bomb sites really need hard breach for it. You don't need hard breach to open up any of the walls. You do not open up kitchen wall. You do not open up delivery wall. The only time you'd ever open up a wall is penthouse and theater, and penthouse and theater isn't even played.
Well, Feral doesn't get to play this round anymore as he goes down to Harris. Pengu's now inside the point again, finds a great angle there, gets himself one. Can he get himself another to the left? Yes, he can. Pengu finds himself 2 kills to get this round underway for Vexed. Suddenly, Feral's death is a long-forgotten memory. Misses that spray down, mind you. Goes for the one as well, but still gets it. This guy's on fire. 3 kills in 1 round.
Do you wonder why he is the champion of the world? That's exactly why. We'll see if he could potentially be on for the ASE. Here's a couple of barricades being broken, as the angle and the plant will be going down from Jesus. A 4K for Pengu. One more for the ace. No!
Oh, denied.
Vex ruins the ace for Pengu, but a 4K nonetheless. And Jesus, he will be there to get the final blow. And Vex, another quick rush, has just completely crumbled this guidance defense. They have tried to invest so heavy on the room game, but Vex have just said, you know what? We don't have to deal with the room game. We can just walk in the bomb site and plant. We have a Pengu.
I think Pengu must have been shopping a couple of days ago and bought himself an extra large backpack, because he basically said to his whole team, guys,
oh boy,
jump on in. I'll give you a carry, because that's exactly how that round went. He got 4 kills, yet it still came down to a 1 versus 1 at the very end of that round. That's just how close it came down to. Now, imagine if he wasn't playing in there and there wasn't someone getting 4Ks like that. These would all be rounds going over to Guidance Gaming. And we said at the very start, Guidance, last couple of weeks, they haven't really faced the stiffest of competition, but they've dropped rounds, they've dropped series that you would have had them down to win. Vex have looked a little bit more consistent, you might say. But here today, they are relying firmly on Pengu to bring them these first few rounds.
So, we will see the final defense for Guidance. I'm sure they're probably happy that it will be the final defense for them. And they will be taking a Frost. So we already have seen the Frost being brought by Meatbeat earlier. Didn't really do that much. I don't think it got one.
Do you think they brought that Frost there literally because that's where Pengu came from? And they were like, right,
to follow up on that, yes.
Let's block Pengu. If he tries to run and he goes down, we win. That's it. Mission kill Pengu activated.
Yeah, they're just going to put it in these very quick rush positions. This is what I encourage a lot of teams to do against
double map.
Yeah, because that's a very common position where teams would run in, jump over the table, and try and go for a plant.
The double does feel a bit excessive though. I was about to say maybe you plant one somewhere else where you can find it more useful, because there was...
Sure.
Okay, maybe. Ooh, cheeky. Okay.
That was good, but you know, we'll see. We'll see if potentially double door push could come in handy, and then somebody just run straight into it. It's a very uncommon position, but a very open position, so I'm sure that the players of Vex should know exactly what they're expecting. And this time there's going to be no cheeky rushes from Vex. Instead, they will play more slow, and it will be that same push that we've seen them go for in the first round, where they try and take upstairs, they try and control the roam game, trying to eliminate, you know, the Jaegers, or actually not even a Jaeger for Guidance, which is a bit of a shock. Instead, more of an Anchors being chosen. You know, you have the Doc, the Echo being chosen.
Smoke, the Echo, the Doc, the Frost, the like.
Oh, Kendra is the Frost. Eliminates daily hard destruction off the board, but like I said, not really an issue. Sure, you lose your hard destruction, but it's nothing major.
Now it's a case of opening up this floor. This is exactly where we saw Pengu playing in the first round of the evening as well. Just getting 3 kills from above, I think it was. Now Feral is going to try and replicate that success while Pengu's up getting some scouts down. I think he was on his drones a couple of seconds ago. Same sort of story there, but he is inside the bedroom himself. So all members currently, by the looks of it, or at least the majority of them, Currently sat upstairs, taking this advantage, trying to get some angles and opening kills down if they can. They're going to get downstairs at some point. We've already seen them stretch twice in a round when it came to the time. There we go. Now he's spotted that out. Now that he knows that that's gone, this can be the running opportunity that he's looking for that he had last round.
Yeah, typically we see teams who want to try and take control of VIP, use all the destructibility factors that they have, and then it's very simple for them just to simply walk in towards that single window and go for a plant. Again, Pengu, he knows that somebody is going to be lurking right beside the window as that concussion mine went off straight away. There wasn't a delayed effect, so he knows that at least somebody's there. Jesus will finally eliminate that Frost. Okay, upstairs has actually switched off the Jackal. Instead, he thinks, yeah, I need to get some kills. I can't let Pengu have all the fun. And instead, we'll try and play aggressive with the R4C and just barely misses Vexed, lurking in the corner as the Bandit. So finally, things are looking good for Guidance, but how long can this go on?
Well, Feral finds himself bringing one down to Hayes as well. 3-3, it's always so close between these teams. And now Feral goes down to Blackout. Guidance are the ones with the numbers advantage now. What magic can Pengu work along with Jesus? You've got God and Jesus here on one team, seems pretty strong.
Oh my. I'll give you that one, that was a good one. But we'll see if Blackout could potentially be can we say Satan? Sure, we'll say Satan in this relationship. Pengu swings on in and eliminates Blackout, so smoke off the board, but it has stuck himself inside of a 1 versus 2. Harris and Vex, they are not inside the bomb site, they know where Diffuser is. Pengu still has to be cautious of these angles being held, but very up close and personal. Vex will be there, a couple of pre-fire shots come in, but none managed to land, and of course the Echo Drone will relay all the info that they need, and this will be indefinitely a round going in favour of Guidance, as there will be no time. Pengu gets 1 kill for his troubles, but really that's all he will get. Time was against Vexed, and Guidance, they do bounce back, and they do take it 3 rounds to 2, and they get a chance to have fun on the attack.
Time to switcheroo. Now, how would you say this map goes in terms of being defender, attacker advantaged? Which side would you give it to? Which side's got the advantage, attack or defense?
Attack. 100% attack. There's no doubt in my mind, just the way that the map is just laid out, that the attackers just have so much more favorability. If you're going to go for the kitchen, look at the amount of destructibility that you have, like we've just shown, that Vexed have, and again, the meta operators that I've talked about, you have Ying, you have Jackal, you have Blitz. A lot of options for you as an attacker that you can really use and abuse. Even Dokkaebi could be brought. Sure, you ban out Lion and Ying, or Lion and Glass, should I say, but then you have to worry about every other operator that does get banned.
That's just a lot, I think, as well. When you're saying it's an attack-favoured map, and we found it was 3-2 to Vex when they had the attack, now it's Guidance Gaming and get the turn to have a go. You mentioned it earlier on as well. The lack of the lack of requirement for hard breach makes it a lot easier for the attackers to bring more utility to the table, not have to worry about that hard breach being a necessity in their setups. And here you can see a bit of it. You can see the Hibana being brought out more, I think, for the peak holes to open up any of the big holes they can try and get through in terms of the creeping or the jumping and all that kind of good stuff. Bringing the buck though, so lots of destructibility coming through for the side of Guidance. I think they're going to go for the same sort of setup as what we saw Vex go for. Just open up that top floor, get all the angles down, try and get some opening kills, and then go for the push off the back of that.
Yeah, I can basically just expect it to go down the exact same way that we did see Vex perform. Again, they have the destructibility that they need, and as you can see, no Thermite, instead just favouring the Hibana just as that kind of semi hard breach. You know, she doesn't make the biggest of holes, but still can be proven pretty useful if there is any kind of, you know, cheeky peek holes that you may want to open up as a Hibana. Still, plenty of utility on side of Guidance. They have the room clear out as well as you can see, Blackout on the Jackal, also Vex with the Sophia. Again, one of the strongest operators in the meta at the moment. Really is just kind of a one-woman army, I would say.
It's like how you're a one-child army.
Unbelievable. You're like you're just an old man. You're not even an army.
I'm a one old man army.
No, just no army.
Everyone is their own army. And in this case, Pengu is probably the strength of 1,000 men in one, as we've already seen from the performances, getting 4 kills, 3 kills, you name it. It almost feels like you want to sit it as a big Pengu up, but it's hard not to when you have performances like that at the start. He could be a no-name player, but based on the performances we've seen already, you can't ignore him.
Do I sense a Pengu fanboy?
No.
I think we found one, boys.
No,
We've got him. We've got him. He's a Pengu fanboy.
I'm not a Pengu fanboy.
He's part of that little cult. That
I don't want to sit here and
Pengu.
I don't want to sit here and make Pengu look bad. But the first clip I ever saw of Pengu.
Hey, it's okay. You're a Pengu fanboy.
I'm not a Pengu fanboy.
I'm a Secret fanboy. I'll happily admit that. You know, if you just want to admit.
I'm not a
your own
Pengu
crimes
fanboy.
against Siege.
Definitely not your fanboy.
Denial is the first stage of
acceptance.
Yes.
I know how this works. It's not quite that big. I'll say that much. Who am I fanboy of? Doki's my Sparky boy. Well, Doki's been very. I was about to say he's been very quiet so far this map, and he gets the opening gun to Vex. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, does get a big kill on the board. We know how much Sophia can bring to the table. Also rocking that new Halloween Fiend skin, the Ectoplasmic. Pretty good one, that.
Spooky.
It is. Great bit of fitting for tonight's festivities. And once again, that Jackal being brought to the table. He is trying to see if he can find anything. And Kendry still looking for his first kill on the butt. Looking at it, Guidance are very spread out. They have no real synergy. If someone does get picked off, they don't have the refrag potential. Talking about Kendry, does get lit up very heavily, and Doki eliminates Harris. Blackout, however, does get a response onto Dearly. He is kills at Doki, but upstairs, Kendry, he has been downed in the process of trying to get those bucks in action. Pengu still alive as well, has control of Sunrise and Blue Bar. We could see a couple of flanks come in from him, or just he holds his ground. More than likely he's going to have to rotate as Feral. He is breathing down the neck of a couple of frag grenades that the buck is going to try and perform. Feral comes in aggressively, T2, but no! He flicks onto the wrong one. Pengu will be there. Doesn't manage to land anything but bullets. Diffuser will try and be planted at 2 versus 3. Kills come in, but no defenders. They win the round off the basis of the Echo drone. That shows how strong Echo is inside of the meta. And well, Vex, they steal that round away from Guidance, and they lead the charge 4 rounds to 2.
That was super unfortunate as well. I mean, a lot of that came down to, at least what it felt like, was that if that double kill had come through for Feral when he was on the lurk, that would have been the dream. I think what he thought was going to happen when he did the flick from the left target to the right was that the shots he'd fire at the left target would get a headshot, he'd get that kill, and then immediately go to the right. It was almost just a natural flex. He knows how many bullets are required, how fast he's got to move. Just didn't connect with those final couple of shots to get either kill and got punished for it. A real shame, because that could have been the big round changer.
Yeah, it was quite a rough round for Guidance. It looked good for them. You know, they had the man advantage, had the defuse going down, but the Echo drone just basically stabilizing why Echo is so strong of an operator currently. That's why we see him being banned quite regularly. But again, you are sacrificing then, you know, the kind of Maestro ban instead of the Echo, and, you know, equally Maestro has his own personal accomplishments.
His own ways of being a pain in the backside.
Yeah, they're both very similar operators. Both do different jobs still, but nonetheless, 2 operators that you still do not want to play against.
I got it pointed out to me into the break, by the way. I was talking about the website for going to Rainbow Six stuff, and I said ESL.im. It's ESL.pm.
Nice one.
I don't know how on earth I got IM from. I don't know if the graphic was different or if I'm just reading things wrongly in my old age. I don't know.
Yeah, you need reading glasses. I've told you this before, but no one listens to me.
That's because you're too young and inexperienced on live to have any relevant opinions for people to listen to.
This is the guy who cast quad tank.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Well, right now we're both sat in a studio casting the same game.
Hey, I'm used to this. You're not.
I'm used to it. How many of these have I done now?
This is your 7th week
of season 2.
Season 1, you did what?
4?
4 weeks.
Right, 6.
Okay.
Is what it is. I'll take it.
You want a cookie?
No, the CSGO cast has made enough of a mess. We don't need to make more.
No biscuits.
No biscuits on the casting desk, please.
I'll have to get some.
Yeah.
Filed theirs, I think.
For those who don't know, those who are listening, obviously, this is something we all know about because we're in the studio. The CSGO casters on their stream, they've been doing a stupid thing where they review biscuits. They have like a scale factor where they rank them in different areas, I think on like taste and crumbliness and things like that. That's why they're such a mess. We here in Rainbow Six respect our desks.
Instead of us, you know, doing biscuit reviews, we instead start off being dressed up as Halloween characters. So
exactly, that was fun.
That's professionalism at its finest, guys. And at the moment, talking about the matchup, Guidance already looking to play very aggressive in the room hunt. He is completely obliterates Dearly. Roaming smoke inside of that billiards room. Wow, that's a bit of a questionable play. Doki has also been lit up as he did try and fight a couple of the attackers coming in towards the building. Pengu still has those goo mines that are just still being regenerated bit by bit and be used to slow down, and not really more of a slow down factor, but more of that sound indicator, because if you know a goo mine goes off, you know exactly where somebody's going to come from.
That's a cheaper door as well. 2 lower planks out, fall straight under. I'm curious to see at the end of this round as well what the kills look like, because for Dearly, he's been caught out in a lot of these rounds without really getting too much in exchange. And when you're the smoke, you're kind of being relied on to be one of the final members left alive on your team. You're the hard anchor playing on point itself. So if it comes down to those final do or die seconds, you've got those smoke grenades to utilize. But he's dying so early, they don't have that on side. So it was like you said at the start of this, Vex are a kind of run and gun, go in there, peek, take kills, play aggressive. There probably needs to be some limitation on that when it's your smoke player.
So still a minute to go on the round. Blackout finds the kill onto Pengu. 5 versus 3. Doki still lurking in the back corner of that sunroom, seeing if he can potentially have the angle onto the A-bombs, that he could be pretty detrimental, but he has took quite a beating as he is down to just above 25 HP. Jesus has the Echo Drones available. Feral holding his ground in towards the kitchen area. Sees the shots come in and does manage to kill. He is on the blues. There's Feral ready, poised. But straight away, Wallbang comes in, actually believe from the hatch. Blackout, no, inside the office has the long angle. Doki has to do something. He has not took his finger off the aim button. Jesus picks on up, eliminates Harris. A 3 versus 2. Echo Drones are still a possibility. Try and gain some intel and try and delay the round. Doki finally comes in, eliminates Blackout. Trying to find one more tags come in. Kendrew manages to land one on the Jesus, and Vex will get the finishing blow onto Doki and Guidance. Well, they take the round and they go 4-3. Going into round number 8, and this could be looking for, once again, another 10-round thriller.
Oh boy, it's definitely going that way. We're up to 4-3 now in favor of Vexed. So still a couple of rounds could bring it back for Vex, but Guidance, gotta say, at the start of this series, they were the kind of guys I was looking at and not so much writing off, but saying they look like one of the weaker teams in this matchup, and they look like the team that potentially will lose the whole thing out to Vex. But as it stands, even with Pengu on side, they're still showing that capability to fight back and potentially bring the series to a draw, if not a win. Admittedly, 3 rounds on the bounce is a big tall order, but yeah, hey, it can happen. Crazier things have happened.
They still do have the attack as well, let's not forget, where attack is so much more favoured on Coastline compared to the defense. Vex, they will once again opt for the Blue Bar and Sunrise, just like they have done previously. We'll see if they can pull off anything that they really need to change, because that was a very, I would say, lackluster Blue Bar and Sunrise. They didn't have the room presence that they needed. I don't really know what Dearly was doing inside the billiards, just playing a game of billiards, I'd imagine. He wasn't really doing much other than just sitting in a corner. Gets completely droned out. Utility comes in, and it's one of the easiest kills that Guidance really had that entire match.
Yeah, look at Dearly. Look how quiet he's been. We said in that last round, and he seems to die first every round. We don't really see him do much. 1 kill, 6 deaths. That's a very, very quiet contributor to this whole map.
Dearly's not one of the stronger players for Vex. I know that Zach, he has actually taken ill tonight, so that's why he can't play. So they have had to bring in some of the big guns, aka Pengu.
Got to pull out that win somehow.
10 seconds to go.
Still, like I said before, there's probably a piece around how aggressively you choose to play. Now he's on the smoke again.
5 seconds to
Want to see him play a bit more reserved this time around. Haven't got to go pushing for those hard angles. Just hold down the point itself. Keep those smoke grenades to hand.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
So how will Guidance conduct their attack? Will they want to push in through that VIP and take it more of a room clear-out matchup, or will they just go all in and try and take control of Hookah and Billiards, and that's really it? They just want to take what they need, and then they use the destructibility factor that Blackout can provide with that sidearm shotgun. At the moment, wow, Kendrew gets the pick onto Jesus from a long, narrow angle. Echo off the board, what a massive kill. And this will really put a dampener on the Vex defense, and this is looking pretty sunny on the side of Guidance. However, more dark clouds come in as Pengu eliminates Harris before the refrag comes in from Hayes onto Dearly. Pengu is quite a beaten as well and will bite the dust as he is a double kill for him inside of the kitchen. The players of Vex not protecting that kitchen flank. And I know that he did hear that quick jump in from Doki. Peeks the corner. It's actually going to be Feral who somehow wins that gunfight. 3 versus 2, Doki and Feral stuck inside of this clutch position. Can they do it for their team? Jotra back and forth between Ash and Castle. Doki eliminates Vex inside of Sunrise. 5 HP and a dream. Don't really think this is going to go in his way, as once again another very rapid round will come into a very
tracks as well.
Quick halt, and yes, like you said, the tracks come in. More nades get thrown out as well, and Kendra will be there with the wall bang. Doki will fall, and well, what a quick round coming in from the players of Guidance.
All led by Kendra as well. 3 kills in that round alone. You mentioned at the very start how solid this guy's looked. Well, now he's definitely proving it as well. Showing up big in a match that counts. When Pengu's on the field as well, if you're being seen to be performing at a similar level, if not exceeding. Look at that, 11 kills for either of them. They're literally neck and neck. Kendra is showing up big today.
Yeah, Kendra, he is a Challenge League player. He is in that just that tier below the Pro League level. He has actually managed to make it into the Challenge League playoffs for a chance to actually qualify in the Pro League. Of course, wish him best of luck, but he is going to go up against Ints as well. So it will be a pretty rough matchup for him and his team, but we'll have to see how he does perform this Friday. But at the moment, it is all about the here and now, and things have started to look a bit tough for Guidance, and the Blackbeard has been brought to the party.
And the Thatcher, and like you mentioned, isn't really a staple. Don't see it get pulled out that often. There's just alternatives that you can now employ to do the same job. But clearly, Guidance Gaming thinking, you know what, this setup, this makes us feel good. We're going to roll with that one.
I'd imagine the Thatcher pick is sheerly down to all of the goo mines that has really been pestering the Guidance attack. Pengu has just scattered them about in very awkward positions and being able to use those EMP grenades to eliminate that potential, and yeah, that's pretty good. And I did talk about where you do not need hard breach anymore for Coastline. Guidance not taking any hard breach, so we'll see if they can play around that, and like I said, it doesn't really affect. They are lacking just that little bit more of hard, or not hard destruction, soft destruction with the buffer and the sledge, but like I said, also Blackout has the sidearm shotgun, but he really hasn't been utilizing that as much as I would like him to.
I'm confused as to why he's brought it, because realistically here, what are you looking to bring down? Maybe you're looking to take down the Echo drone? That's about it. I don't know. I'm not sold on it, but let's see how it plays out for them at the very least. Already, they're on towards this point. All the smoke's going down everywhere. Now it makes a lot more sense, because they've already got in there. All the smoke's down everywhere, and they've got the diffuser going down as well.
Pengu, however, has picked up one onto Kendra and Feral onto Blackout. So it will be a 2 versus, make that a 1 versus 5, as he is all down to him. Vex somehow withstanded with that Sophia ability. He is in the Blackbeard, has performed so big as a 1 versus 5 against everybody from Vexed. I thought Vex were going to get Vexed with their own strategy, but no, they have held strong. And Vexed have secured themselves a round inside of this matchup between Guidance. And we will be moving into round number 10 with it all to play for. Vex who go on to take all 3 points, or will Guidance pull it back and take a round and take the point?
It would be another heartbreaker of a match if Guidance don't win this round. And we said that in the last series as well, that it was a big shame that for Team Secret, well, it's not a shame for Team Secret, but the Team Secret managed to clutch that final round, did cause absolute heartbreak. The same could happen here as well. All Guidance have got to do is win this round and we go to a tie. Otherwise, Vexed walk away with all 3 points.
Still 13 kills for Pengu and 11 kills for Feral. 24 between them both, and wow, what a show they have put on for us. This is coming all down to the wire. But the final defense will be settled on the bomb site that I said is not a very strong one. It will be the penthouse and theater, and my oh my, I would say Vex must have a pretty aggressive setup if they're going to be that risky and go for this bomb site.
Absolutely, and you mentioned earlier on, it's one of those ones that's very hard to retake once you've lost it, so you've got to be able to hold it decisively in the first place. You've got to hold VIP, you've got to hold guitar, you've got to hold the drop, you've got to hold the window. A lot of considerations is probably the best way to describe it, but let's see what they choose to employ as their go-to strategy. Guidance, they're even bringing the Twitch to the party. Bit of a change. So instead of the Thatcher, they're acknowledging it still they need something to clear out devices. But in this case, they're saying, well, Thatcher wasn't the one for us. Twitch is definitely the go-to.
Well, Twitch really isn't an operator that you would solely pick for the gadget unless you are going up against a Mira. I would say it's just more of a personal gun preference for me. It's F2, arguably one of the strongest guns inside of the game, if not the strongest. I'll kind of give my edge to the R4C just a little bit more, but still a very immense gun, can melt you in an instant, and that may be the reason why he's going to be going with the F2 in this scenario. Can we see if he can pull out any fragging potential? We do know that he did manage to get an ace last week. It was on a dock, but still the same principle applies. Can he get that same fragging power that we know he does have in his capability? Vex will be looking to go for more of an aggressive roam game in towards that aquarium and in towards the blue bar, a strategy which is very risky as well, simply because
you're miles away.
Yeah, you're miles away from the objective, and you're very easily caught out from rotations because that entire roof area can just be sat by one person holding an angle onto the luggage corridor. You try to rotate back to the bomb site or get forced out by a hunter, you're just dead because a guy is holding an angle on you, and this is why Penthouse and Fater, and this is why attackers are so favoured.
Well, let's see if they can make it work. As you say, they are the attackers. If they can pincer at least one or two members out, that can give them a very good solid start. But all it really takes is for Vex to find one quick cheeky pick, and suddenly everything goes their way as well. So I think very much so it's going to come down to who draws first blood out of these two teams.
So we will see that hard destruction come into play. Thankfully, Harris did manage to take the Habana this time. Last time they did not, as they did try and go for that quick rush tactic. Vex will have a bit of an
should have that
against Feral on the pulse, but no shots rattle back and forth, neither hitting their angles or their bullets. A trackle does come in from Blackout, and Vex, he bites the bullet as Doki comes in with the flank. Impact Nade gets rid of the Claymore, so potential run out could be used and abused by a roamer downstairs. Kendrew trying to hold that flank as much as he can, and straight away Hayes will try and push in and try and stop that. Stop the bleeding just for a little bit, but still plenty of work to go for Guidance.
Still trying to find their way in though. Feral bringing down Hayes into a 3 versus 5. Guidance looking like they might lose this one away, although Kendrew pulling out the hero play brings one down. Can he find any more? Blackout gets another into a 3 versus 3. These rounds are so back and forth, but there's one more there. He was reloading the whole time, gets in, brings down Pengu. Kendrew might have just done it for his team here, getting 2 kills out of the 3 in this round for them. Now they're going to get the diffuser down. It's going down. Will this be enough, or can Dearly play upset? He's had such a quiet game, but this could be the time to upset the enemy team. He finds one. That kill may have won it for them. Now if they can get in there and bring down Kendrew, he's got no health left. It's 2 versus 1, and both of them are on full health. Guidance Gaming could be about to lose everything unless Kendrew really comes up big.
10 seconds to go on the favour of the British man, but no, Feral will be there. He takes out Kendrew. And well, the carry from the G2 members see Vexed into a win, and they get a much needed 3 points from Guidance Gaming.
That's the kind of work you want your men to do as well. Coming up big towards the enemy. Dearly, I said earlier on, he's been very quiet, found himself going down more often than actually getting kills in this matchup. But ultimately, well, landing those kind of kills in those clutch situations, it was just like at the very end of the last series as well. In the dying moments, those couple of kills can mean the world, and in this case, it's meant a victory over to the side of Vexed. Guidance Gaming lose one of their top 4 matchups, the first of those, and they've got 2 very tough weeks ahead of them against 2 of the other top 4 teams.
Yeah, on Neum they have to go through, which again, we know how strong they are, but wow, just 1 C4 kill to decide the fate of Guidance if they were going to take the draw or take the L, and well, they took the L pretty hard, and Pengu, he just completely served that up to him on a silver platter.
He did. It started off as being the Pengu show as well. 4 kills, 3 kills, you name it, getting loads of kills in those early rounds. Did quieten down in the latter half of the game, and that's where he started to see the rest of his team kind of come alive under his leadership. So, well played by them, but special shout out as well to Kendrew. Guy was an absolute machine as well. Pulling up, I think, equal kills he tied for in the end there with Pengu as well. That's what you want on a star player, and this guy's in Challenger League, probably one of the ones to watch out for in the future. Yeah,
Kendrew's been one of my favourite players in Challenger League for quite a while now. I've cast him quite a bit, and he's just came strength from strength. This guy has been in Challenger League for so many seasons. I know that the guy's always wanted a UK league to compete, and I'm sure most of these guys have wanted, especially teams there like Secret, who have always, you know, took pride in being British, and finally these teams do get a chance to show that.